Hello guys, and welcome back again. So yes, we're at it again on a nice brisk Sunday morning. It's a beautiful 24 degrees outside. So we got all the heaters going on inside the shop right now, and we're gonna get to work. So instead of you sitting here staring at my ugly mug for a minute, I'm gonna flip this around, show you what we're doing and why we're doing it. And here we got a nice 2016. She's got 91,000 miles on her. Really clean truck. This gentleman takes very good care of it. As you can see, he's got a bypass on here already. He's already got the monster ram and the boost tubes. And today we are going to be installing this little guy right here. So this is the fleece coolant bypass. A lot of you have heard me talk about it, and a lot of you have questioned about how I get the plug out of the back of the block. So attached with this video is going to be another video where I have the cab off. So you're going to be able to see exactly where we're doing this at, but on the video we're going to do today, you're going to see how I do it with the cab on. I'm going to try and get you as much video as I can up in there, but it's really tight, so bear with me. But for right now, I am going to get the coolant drained on this one, because we're also going to be setting valve lash. And while the coolant's draining, I am going to get going on the valve lash adjustment. That'll be a separate video that we're not going to show today. Or will we? No, I'll do it all. Anyway, stay tuned. And here we are down to the rockers. We are getting ready to do the adjustment on them. Now, your manufacturer specification is going to be different than what I'm going to put these at, most likely. And I'm going to go with Zach Hamilton's way, because he has done extensive testing to find out which lash adjustment is going to provide the least amount of wear but the most amount of lubrication throughout the components, and that's 10 and 20. 10 on the intake, 20 on the exhaust. I use a jumper wire on the starter relay right here, to where I can just bump the motor over and get each cylinder at top dead center and make the adjustment on that one cylinder. I don't like setting top dead center number one and then adjusting down the valve train. I prefer to have each individual cylinder at top dead center to make my adjustment. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna sit here and video a whole bunch of that because it's stupid. It's a good maintenance item to keep going, and you have to do it on these solid lifter engines, but it's stupid to sit here and video you showing you doing valve adjustment, whatever. I'm gonna get this going and then get back onto the coolant bypass. Alrighty, so we got the valve lash all adjusted, everything back together up here. Everything's all nice and happy now. So we get to move on to doing the fleece coolant bypass. Now remember, we're on a 17 instead of a 19 through 24, so the process is gonna be a little bit different. I tried reaching the driver's side bolts for the support bracket through there from the top, but the monster ram is in my way from getting my big meaty arms back there far enough. So we're going to have to figure out a way to get those from underneath. Not a big deal. But now through the passenger side, without disconnecting the exhaust, because the turbo flange is in a different location from a 4th to a 5th gen, but you can literally get to those bracket bolts with one of those guys right there. Real easy. So I'm going to get the other two out, get that bracket out of the way, get the vent for the transfer case relocated, and then I'm going to try and get a camera set up in there to where you can watch as we get that freeze plug out. So give me a bit and we'll be right back. All right, so through the passenger wheel well, we were able to get all 4 bolts out from this side, and none of them were torqued past 10 pounds. They came off stupidly easy. But now that we got that off, we got to let me see if I can get a better picture on this without dropping my phone and breaking it. Okay, let's try this again. Take 2. We need to get that freeze plug that you see there in the middle out. Okay. Now I am going to show you where I'm going to try and get it out from underneath. Okay, really hard for you guys to see this. Let me see if I can laser pointer it. Right up there, somewhere right there is where that plug is. Now I am back at the transfer case here, and I'm going to use a series of very long 3/8 extensions, thread it up in there, and pop that freeze plug sideways. So I'm going to try and set the camera up on the bell housing where I just took the previous, and hopefully give you guys a shot of what's happening up there. We are going to set this camera up right here, hopefully, and I am going to attempt to not do that. I'm going to attempt to get video for you guys of me whacking on that there freeze plug. Let's just hope that stays right there. So hold on. I think we're close. Okay, I'm going to show you guys this because there's been a couple people with questions about it. How to get that out when we're cab on. I can't show you that because it's a very tight place to try and get a camera up into while we're actually trying to remove that freeze plug. But you'll get an idea on it from here. You can make up your own way to do it once the cab is back on. That's how we figure things out, okay? So, first you gotta do is get the vent off. I'm gonna zip tie this thing right up to this harness so that it's out of the way, but still providing what it needs to. Now remember, get rid of these stupid Christmas tree fasteners that are no longer needed. You don't need to have multiple zip tie crap stuck on a line that isn't needed. It looks like crap. So we want to make sure that we're making everything look as good as we can, as well as perform flawlessly, all right? So get this thing zip tied up here to this harness. Make sure you keep it up just as high, if not higher, than what it is there. So get that done. Now, this is held in right here. When you have the cab off, you're going to come in from the side. You're going to take the wheel and the wheel liner out, disconnect the exhaust right here, and let it fall down, and you can reach in here to get these 2 bolts. These 2 bolts I literally get from the top over here, okay? So it's up laying across the engine, come down with the 15mm wrench to get those out. Now, once we get those out, we can take this off and throw it away. Now, I come from the driver's side. Let me pop this off of here, hold on. From right through here with a long extension, and I hit this freeze plug right here on this side, okay? It's about 5.5 foot extension that I use for that. You can use a chunk of rebar, you can use an extension, whatever you need to get up there and smack that freeze plug to get it to turn. Just like this. Okay? Now, once you get that thing turned a little bit, you literally need to get in there with some kind of tool to pry that out. And it literally just pops out. Easy peasy. Now, when they put these in from the factory, they use a sealant on them. You got to clean that all off. In the fleece coolant bypass kit, they give you a piece of Scotch-Brite pad to clean that out so that the O-ring has a good surface to seal on. We're here with the cab off. I'm going to go through and make sure that that thing is spotlessly clean. And then we'll come back in just a second and I'll show you about mounting the new thermostat housing here. So hold on for a minute. So there was a quick time lapse on putting that in. Remember, make sure that that fitting is tight before you go to put your hose on, especially when you're going in the vehicle. Now, when you got the cab on and you're going in, I highly recommend you attach the hose to here before you get this in here and put back in. It is tight. Again, you're coming from the wheel well opening right through here to do all of that. So imagine trying to get that fitting and that hose tight with that in here. You can't do it. So you attach the hose to it on the bench, and then you'll snake it in here, put it on, tighten up your 2 bolts. So now I'm going to get this other part, the hose and the thermostat housing ran, and then we'll do another little video here. So hold on. So it was really hard to get this on film about knocking this thing out of there. I finally got it out. As you can see, I would be holding it in my hands if I didn't, but once you get it smacked in there, it turns a little bit in that hole, and then you're able to get a little tiny screwdriver underneath the other side and get it to pop out. So that's that. Now use the 3M pad that comes with the kit. Make sure you get all of the sealant, rust, and debris off of that sealing surface. Otherwise, when you go back together with this guy, it will not seal and you will end up with a leak. So there's where we're at. That's what we're going to do. And also, when you go back together with this thing, put your hose on it first. Make sure that you tighten down that fitting right there. Get your hose hooked up to it and tight, because trying to get this tightened down while it's in the vehicle with the cab on is almost impossible. So there's where we're at. Stay tuned. All right, so it was really hard to keep the camera stable while we were trying to get that plug out, but we ended up getting it out. You can see from the video clips that we have how it can be a pain in the butt, but we did get it. Anyway, I've got the new thermostat in there, the trans dipstick tube back in there, and now we're gonna put the wheel liner back in, wheel on, get it off the jack stands, and continue on with the top part of this installation. So hold on for a minute. Alrighty, there she is, done. We got the original thermostat housing out of there with the new fleece one in. We also put in a new thermostat. I always recommend that you either replace your thermostat or at least get a new thermostat gasket once you take that other thermostat housing off. And then we've got her filled up, level, she's hot. We're gonna watch it for a little bit after we take it for a test drive and see if we need to add some more coolant, burp a bubble. They will always burp a bubble. Sometimes it takes 2 days, but they'll get a bubble burp at you. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, tuning in, all that good stuff. So hit the like, comment, share, and we'll talk to you again on the next one.